Okay, we're back. So, wait, what are we doing now? Okay, so we want to create a button component, right? So the button component is actually just a button that has an icon, an optional icon actually. So we can have a button without the icon, for example, and here or here maybe. So we can have a button without the icon, and the icon is optional. So we're gonna create the button component, and yeah, after that we're gonna create the header, I guess. But before we continue, I just wanna like start adding the spacing and stuff like this. So, for example, the margin on the top, the spacing between the components, and yeah, let's see how it goes from there. Okay, so wait, what do we need? Okay, so we're not gonna need a top spacing and spacing between components. So let's do it. So we have this right in the app.js, which is a container, and then it has two grid items. The one grid item is this, and the next grid item is all of this, right? So this is what our app looks like. So first of all, let's start adding the spacing between the two to match this, right? So what I'm gonna do, the grid container has a prop that you can pass in that's called spacing. Wait, no, not that. Give me a second. Okay, spacing, and let's give it a spacing of, I think 5 should be okay. Let's see if it matches it. Not really, we need more. So let's have 7 maybe. 7. Yeah, I think that's pretty close, right? I think that's pretty close. Yeah, so we have a spacing between the items, and now we need a margin on the top, right? So for the margin on the top, what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually create a couple margin CSSs that we can actually use elsewhere. So for example, on the container, I'm gonna have a class name, and then give it a top of 60. Okay, so in our CSS, we're gonna have the same thing. Okay, so I'm actually gonna comment this out. Let's have it all the way at the top. Yeah, I actually prefer it there, so we can always like add and edit it there. Margins and paddings. I think Bootstrap have this without actually defining it all, but let's search for it. So on top, 1 second. So we're gonna say top underscore 60. Wait, it should be that. Should have a margin top of 60px, right? Should have a margin top of 60px. Let's have it as important as well. Important. Oh my days. Okay, important. But one thing that I want to do for the margin top 60px is have a look at this, right? So if we have this here, okay, if I inspect elements and if I make it smaller, do you notice the margin top actually decreases, right? So have a look at the distance right now and look at it when I increase it. Like, look at that. Do you see that? So the margin top increases. So according to the screen size, right? So I'm gonna add a new rule that if the screen size is, for example, less than a certain pixel, decrease the margin top, right? So I'm gonna say, so let's have a media query here. So media, we're gonna say, if the screen size has a max width, okay, width of 991px, that's the number for like a small screen size, okay? So media max width 991px. What we're gonna do is top 60 is now gonna be half of its original. So we're gonna do that. So top 60 is now gonna be 30px. So let's save it and let's see what we got. So have a look at that. So top 60. Right, forget the right side. So look at the top 60. I'm not sure. Wait, why doesn't the right side work though? But okay, look at the top 60, and if I inspect elements and I go smaller, like you see the margin top decreases now, right? But yeah. So let's try and find out why it's not adding it here. That's weird. App.js, the container is surrounding everything. Wait, what? So top 60. What's up with that? Why is this not getting the top 60? Okay, I don't know. We'll come to this when we come to the right side. But let's actually work on the button, because this is the button component, right? Okay, so let's go back and see what we need. Okay, so let's go back to the button page. Okay, button file. Let's create the button.js, and then let's have a new file. No, button.css. Okay, so inside the button, let's have RAFCE. So we're gonna have the button, and we're gonna use a material UI button, right? So in here, let's get rid of the div, and we need a material UI button. So button, from material UI. Why isn't it importing it? I'll just import it manually. So button from material UI. Okay, and there's two things that we need, right? We need a text for the button, and we need the icon for the button, right? So we're gonna like pass it in as a prop, and destructure it already. So text and icon, and inside the button we're gonna say, now material UI actually have a prop that you can pass, which is called end icon. Okay, so let's give it a class name first, and then we're gonna give it that icon. So we're gonna give this a class name called whatever, the website button, right? Or even, yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, and then we're gonna give it an end icon, okay, equal to something. So now we want to give it an icon. So we're gonna check if there is an icon, pass in the icon, or else don't pass in an icon, right? So if we have an icon, okay, pass in the icon, okay, or else just a null. Okay, don't do anything, right? So what will the icon be? We're gonna give it a div, because we want to style the icon to be rounded and have the correct padding and size, icon size, and all of that, right? So we're gonna give it a div, okay, div, and inside the div we want to like just pass in the icon, okay, icon, and let's give the div a class name so we can style it. Class name, and then the class name is just gonna be icon container, right? Cool, just keep it simple, I guess. Icon container, or actually I'm actually gonna give it the right names, I guess. So custom button, I'm gonna call this custom button, and then custom button icon container. Custom btn, no, custom button wow, that's custom icon okay, button icon container, whatever, that was way too big. Okay, button icon container, right? And then wait, so we already put the icon in, and inside the button we just want to pass in the text, right? So we might want to style the text as well to match the text there. So we're going to use let's use a span, and inside the span let's just pass in the text and give it a class name. So span class name equals to something. So the class name is gonna equal to btn text. Wait, what? I just can't think of any names right now. It's like way too late now. I'm tired. Okay, I think that should be okay, right? We don't need anything else. Let's import a button.css. Import button.css. Save. All right, let's go to button.css now and see what we need. So we have that, right? Let's pass that in. Okay, we have that, so that in, and then we have that, so that in, and let's choose for rich. Copy, just in case we use a name somewhere, so I just want it to be really custom. Okay, and that. All right, so let's start with the first one. So for what we want to do is give it a background color, right? So I'm not going to talk much, I'm just going to do everything. So background color, it's going to be a var, okay, main color. We've done this over and over again before. Give it an important just going to copy and paste important everywhere. We're going to give a font size. I'm actually going to copy all the stylings and then explain it, I guess. Okay, so we're going to give it a font size of 14px, nothing to explain that. A font weight. We're going to give it no border because by default, the Material UI buttons have a border, right? So we don't want any border, but we want the border radius to be 50%. So it should be like a perfect circle on every corner, right? So border radius of 50%. And then, wait, let's do that. Yeah. And then a padding. So we're just going to give it a padding as well from like, so there's a padding between the text or the icon and the outside border, for example. Okay. And then a line height and yeah, it's just for the text and a min width of 100px. Like we need a button to be at least 100px in size. Like it shouldn't be like really small, right? And then an outline of none. So outline is like just like a border, I guess, right? So we don't want an outline as well. Okay. No area outline is basically when you click on the button, like there will be an outline by default on Material UI. So when you click on a button, it will have like a black outline. So if you can go into the Material UI's website and check it out, but there will be a black outline. We don't want that, right? So let's go into the button, the icon container. So now we're going to do the icons. Okay. So there we go. Let's paste that in. So the icon color should be black, right? The background color should be white though, right? And the border radius is 50px, which is again a perfect circle. And then just the height, width, and the text line should be center, so that icon should be exactly in the center. And so I use the display flex as well. So it should be center for the align items is center horizontally or vertically and justify center horizontally, right? So nothing special there. And then let's do the button text next. So I'm going to copy and paste it again. Okay, so the button text, so this text here, right? So again, font size, that it's more of the same as this really, but yeah, just a margin width and text transform none. So like by default, Material UI always uppercase their button. So whatever text is in the button, it's always going to be uppercased. So we don't want anything, like we don't want Material UI to do any of that, right? So yeah, we're going to give it that. But one thing that I want to do is we're going to have to set the size of this icon. We haven't done that anywhere. We've played around with the container, but we haven't set the size of the icon. So I'm actually going to do that, right? So let's call this in. Okay, right? So the button container. Okay. And I want to target the icon inside the button, right? So I want to target the icon inside the button and give it a font size. So just do that. Save. Okay, so let's go back to our profile and import the button into our profile. So let's see what we got. So okay, let's import custom button. You can call this whatever you want. Custom button from. So go back up one step and then go into button and then the button.js to save, and let's see what we got. Okay, we'll get an error there. We'll fix it though. Wait, we're gonna fix that error. So the error is basically we're importing button from Material UI, so we cannot have two of the same names, right? So we're going to rename this into custom button or whatever you want, maybe custom button, save. So let's say that, and there's something wrong, or maybe there's nothing wrong, but we haven't passed in a text. Right? So the text should say download CV and the icon should be the download icon. Okay, so the text should say where is it? So let's go back to, I'm going to close this and that. So profile.js. So the text should say download CV, save. And oh wait, it shouldn't be square brackets, it should be curly braces. Save. Okay, and then the icon should be something. Okay, so the icon should be what should the icon be? that, right? So I have it written from as in I have it already from Material UI. I'm just gonna bring it in here. It's called the get app icon. Okay, so let's go back to our code, and then it's the get app icon. Okay, and let's pass this icon in. Save. Come on, there we go. Pretty cool, right? But there's something that we haven't done yet. If you look at this, it's centered. It's like centered, but on our app it isn't, right? So let's try and work with that. So I'm gonna get rid of the break, and what we're gonna do is actually use grids again, maybe, right? So wait a second. Control CF. Wait, so I'm gonna say let's have a grid item here. Wait, let's have a grid item. Or no, just a div. We don't need a grid item. Just a div. Okay. Bring that into div, and then let's give this a class name so we can style the container and make it in the center, right? So class name is equal to button container. Okay, that's what I'm going to call it, button container. Okay, save, and let's go into the profile.css and actually call that button. So right now it's kind of like a lot worse now, but let's go give it a button container. So what I'm going to say is, so if let's target profile and then go into button container, right? So, oh no, wait. Okay, so profile, then you know what? I just realized I haven't connected my headphones. I'm using a different mic. I'm not sure if it's gonna be better or worse. But wait, I'm just gonna leave it for this video and then switch it back next video. So and then button container. Oh my days. Button container, and let's style that. So what I want to do is give it a width of 100% first, so it should take up the whole width from start to end. Okay, so this is the container, not the button, right? There's going to be an invisible container around it. Okay, so let's give it a width of 100%. Okay, and then we want to give it a display of flags, so we can horizontally and vertically align it. Display of flags. What else? We want to justify content to center, so that becomes right in the center, and let's give it a margin top as well. So margin top of 10 px. Oh wait, 10 px. Let's see what that looks like. It did nothing. Wait, am I using a wrong CSS? Oh wait, the spelling is wrong. Wait. Container. That should do. Okay, there's something wrong. So the margin top work, let's give it a bit more, so 20 px. Okay, but why isn't it centering? Let's figure that out. So we have a div container. Display of flags doesn't work. Display of flags. Okay, then we'll have to do an important on it, because by default it's not flags. So if I save that, and yeah, there we go, works now. So it's pretty much the same, like almost the same, right? So close. Alrighty, so yeah, let's do the header next video.